Hello friends, welcome back to another session on the OSI model. So here we are going to talk about the session layer. So before we start discussing about the session layer, I hope you are finding this training useful as we are covering both the theoretical as well as practical aspect of the OSI model. So friends, you might be little confused while I demonstrate the actual data transfer on the OSI layers. See, a very important thing that you should note is the model that is in use is TCP/IP, but few layers of the OSI model are combined into TCP/IP model that we are going to discuss at the end. So just stick to the aspect. Example, in the last video, we discussed about the encryption that happens at the presentation layer, and we have seen how where is that encryption to be located using Wireshark. So in the later section of this training you will understand how to actually deep dive into Wireshark, understand each and every layer, and how you can then first understand the process of how the client connects to a server on the web or maybe on the local network, how you can analyze the traffic, and then you can safeguard the servers or applications using the analysis done by Wireshark. So moving to the session layer. So we discussed about the application presentation layer already. Now session layer is responsible for establishing and maintaining and terminating the session. So when we talk about establishing session, the session ID comes into picture. So consider there are 5 computers on the network and first computer is talking to the fifth computer. At the same time, computer 2 is talking to the third computer. Now, how does the data from client 1 goes to client 5 and client 2 goes to client 3, right? Why they do not clash the data transfer, right? So data sent from a particular computer reaches to the desired destination. So this happens due to the session layer. So session ID is maintained between the client and the server, or two different clients or two different servers. So as you now understand that there is a session ID that works at this layer. So some of the examples, if I had to tell you, RPC is one of the session layer protocols, which is remote procedure call. Then SQL, this is the structured query language, and NFS, which is nothing but the network file system. So consider you are accessing your mail account. What you will do is you will enter your credentials. This is your email ID. Okay, just for the demonstration I've put my ID here and the password. So once you enter the password and click sign in, it is it is going to give you access to your mail account. So now the moment you log in, it is going to create a session between your browser and the mail server, and it is now going to associate the user account that was used to log in during this particular session, and this session is established. Then while you are accessing your mailbox, this session ID will be maintained, so you can continue to access all your emails, and once you log out, this session will be terminated. So friends, this is what goes here at the session layer. If we talk about the activities and the attack vectors, so establishing, managing, and terminating the session happens at this layer. So it manages the session state. Then the example would be video conferencing, because consider you are talking to your friend using Google Meet or Microsoft Teams or a Zoom meeting or a WebEx session. It will always maintain a session while you are in that particular call, so that all the members within that call can listen to each other. So attack vectors, if we have to talk about, session hijacking is one of the attacks that can happen on a web application or a server. So consider you logged into the server using your login ID and you have established a session. So that application would be maintaining a session ID. And if that session ID gets hijacked, so what other user on the network can do is, by some reason, if they get access to your session ID, they can copy that session ID and use it in a tool to hijack your session. What will happen is that the server will get to understand that you are the one who's trying to log in from that particular location. So that's where uh, the session can be hijacked, and if you are logged in on your application using some browser, the other user or the hacker can log into your account using the same session ID. So that is what we talk about the session hijacking. So brute force is one of the attacks which are session based attacks, and then session fixation attack is an additional attack that is an attack vector at this stage. So when we talk about the data transfer, data from the application layer gets attached with a port number, selecting the port HTTP, HTTPS, FTP, FTPS, or whatever application that you are using to connect to the server. The port number associated with that application will be attached, and then at the session layer, we already discussed concepts like compression, decompression, encryption, decryption, and encoding and decoding goes in here. And at the session layer, now you are aware that a session is established, maintained, and finally terminated once you log out of that particular application or session. So let's understand session ID using Wireshark now. So with this, we come to the end of the session. Thank you for watching.